Hello and welcome to Office Hours. My name is Stepan. I'm sitting in for Luca, but don't worry, he'll be back next month. So if you're new to Office Hours, this is our webinar series where we talk about current productive features and we explore them in depth. And on special occasions like this one, we will also showcase you what we are working on right now, just to give you a little glimpse in the future. So our topic today is productive AI. So how to use productive AI features to make sure that your work is fast and more efficient. And with that said, before I start the demo, let me just check, or rather let me show you how to turn on productive AI. So in order to turn it on, you have to go to settings, and then you'll find productive AI. And here, just make sure that it's turned on for the organization. Now, this needs to be done by the person who is the account owner in your organization. But once it's done, it will be available to all employees. So with that said, let me go to our first feature, and that is text generation. Now, honestly, I will not spend too much time dwelling on that because I'm pretty sure that you have seen it before. So if you have used ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or Copilot, you will know what I'm talking about. Basically, you would turn on the prompt window by pressing slash, then hit write with AI. Just write your prompt. And then, as you can see here, it has generated a non-disclosure agreement, quite long, I must say. But also you can generate, or rather edit existing texts. So I can now just select this part of the text and say, okay, I want to say improve writing, change the tone, summarize, or even translate into 8 languages. Now, along with docs, you can also use it in tasks, so for writing descriptions and writing comments as well. But yeah, the most people will just use it in docs. Okay, so that was text generation. Again, I'm pretty sure you have seen this before. Now let's move on to tasks, and let's open this task, for example. Now our second feature is AI summaries. Now, imagine that you're working on a task that takes just forever to finish. So there has been a change in scope, the due date has been changed, the assignee has been changed, or perhaps you were away for some time, and then you want to go back and just see what has happened in the meantime. Now, normally you would have to go to the feed section here, read all the comments, or just take a look at, the comment section. But now you can just click on the summarize activity button and then select how would you like to see the summary. So is it a high-level overview or just a recap? Let me click on the overview button. Okay, so now it has taken into account all, let's say, classical features of a task. So it's the title, the description, the assignee, the due date, but it also takes into account any custom classifications, such as a custom field. And here it says that the task was created, say, today. It's part of this and this project, and it's currently for review, meaning that it's waiting feedback or approval before proceeding. So, as I said, it takes into account all regular parts of the task, if you will, but it also takes into account stuff like your custom fields, and then it includes them in the description, or rather the summary. Again, 2 ways of summarizing it. It's a high level or a detailed recap where you can actually select the time span that you would like to be informed about. Okay, so that's AI summaries on tasks. And now let's move on to expenses. Now, if you ever say hire a freelancer, if you rent equipment or any other type of expense that you might add to your budget, or even if you have an internal expense, let's say that you are traveling for work, so you need to submit an airplane ticket, or if it's like a business dinner. So any type of expense, you have to add it to productive and then add it to a budget of your choice. So here, let me just create a new expense. I'll use quick add because it's quick. And I'll hit upload. And now I see that the date has changed. So this date is actually the date of the invoice or the receipt, not of the actual expense, or rather the expense form. So when this expense was created from the third party, right? And here I see the total amount pre-tax. I can obviously add a markup if I want. And here I see that those line items have become the description, right? And of course, the document itself, so be it a PDF or even a JPEG. So perhaps if you are, in a restaurant and you want to take a picture of the invoice, you can also submit that as well, and Productive AI will also read it. Okay, so once I'm done, I'll just hit create expense, and that's it. So basically, a better way to avoid mistakes and also not to lose the actual physical evidence of this expense. Now, while I'm on the topic of losing expenses or losing receipts, what happens if you lose something in productive? So what happens if you lost, let's say, an object like a task or a budget, and you cannot find it? Now, believe me, this has happened to me multiple times. So perhaps I would open a task and then assign it to our design team. But then when I was going back to refer to it, I was not sure to which project I have added it or who was the assignee. So normally you would go to, tasks in this case, and then you would open filters, and then you would, select all the filters, just scroll down and click, and that's honestly a waste of time. But with AI filters, I can now literally describe what I want to see, and then Productive AI will just figure it out and apply the right filters for me. So in this case, I can say, I don't know, high priority design tasks. Again, this is a really dumbed down prompt, but you can always be precise, and those precise prompts will also get you precise results. But as I said, I'm intentionally dumbing this down. Okay, so the first thing is totally correct. So I am looking for priority, or rather high priority tasks, and it has found a couple of tasks for me. So let me take a look at this one. Okay, so I'm using a custom field called priority, and this task has been set as high priority, so obviously this is correct. But if I go back, I've also asked it to find tasks that belong to the design team, but I haven't really specified design team. I just said design. So let's take a look if it got what I wanted. And this task is assigned to Lucy. And when I go to resourcing, let's take a look at employees and then Lucy. And lo and behold, Lucy is a member of the design team. So basically, I gave it like a really high level prompt. I wanted to see high priority tasks assigned to someone who works in design. And this is exactly what it got. Okay, let's take a look at a different example. Perhaps let's take a look at financials. So I'll be really optimistic here. So let's say recurring budgets, profit margin more than 80%. I know, impossible, but who knows? Okay. It realized that I wanted recurring budgets exactly, and let's see, profit margin is more than 80%, and lo and behold, we actually have some budgets that are that have the profit margin with more than 80%, which we all know it's impossible, but hey. Okay, let's move on to resourcing. And as you can see, my resource planner is absolutely chaotic. I cannot find anything here. So let me just ask Productive AI to find it for me. So I want to see remote this week. So basically, I'm looking for a person that is working remotely this week. And here it is. I see that this person, Charles, they are working remotely from the, let's say, middle of September and then up until the middle of October. So basically, yes, they are remote this week. And let me just take a quick pause from AI just to explain that remote is a new category that you can add to resourcing. Now, technically, it's an absence category, but it doesn't count up as absence in the same way like, let's say, time off or sick leave would. Okay, so back to AI. Again, those were AI filters. Instead of clicking on the filters manually, just click on the drop down, select AI filters, and then type in what you want to see, or rather describe or ask what you want to see. Now, while I'm on the topic of describing what you want to see, now let's take a look at reports. And I feel like this is probably the best way to use AI, mostly because if you are perhaps new to productive, then you know that creating a report can be sometimes a bit challenging. The reason is you have to know what you're looking for. And sometimes you call things one way and we call it a different way. So basically, when you're creating a report from scratch, sometimes it takes some time to get to the data that you want. Well, with AI reports, this is way easier than before. So what I'll do, I'll just click here on AI reports and I'll say this. Let's say projected revenue by industry and this year. Now, again, I'm using a totally dumbed down version of a prompt, but if you want, and I would encourage you to do so, be as precise as possible because the better your prompt is, the better your result will be. And you can also mention stuff. So, for example, if you want to mention, let's say, a person, so obviously the data presented will be, centered around this person, you can do that as well, along with, say, projects or tasks, whatever. Okay, but as I said, I'm intentionally keeping this, really dumbed down. Okay, let's see. So it got my date correctly this year. Let's take a look at the results. Okay, so notice that I have asked in the prompt that I wanted to see projected revenue. Now, this implies that I'm looking at potential sales deals revenue, right? And since I have divided my potential clients or my sales deals by industry, I can see now that the most lucrative possible deals could come from finance. Now, these are custom fields, and these are custom fields that have been applied to deals, right? And as before, productive AI does understand your custom classification, including custom fields. Honestly, this is the report that I wanted. I'm pretty happy with it. So it has asked me, did you get the report you wanted? I will say, yes, definitely. I would also encourage you to use this option here, mostly because it helps us to make sure that the responses are always what you have asked for. So yes, this is what I wanted. Okay, let's try with another one. Perhaps let's make it a bit more tricky, I would say. So budgets, losing money, sorted by budget owner and worst ones to the top. Okay, let's see how this goes. So obviously, I'm looking for budgets that are losing money. I want to see them sorted by their budget owner. And of course, I want to see the worst performing budgets on top. So let's see. Ideally, I will see, okay, I have budgets where the current profit is less than 0. The date is this month. And as I can see here, the owner here is Charles Blake. And the first one is this budget called design. So let me take a look at it just to be sure. Let me go to the overview tab. This is new, by the way. And then profitability opens automatically. And I can see, yes, I mean, this looks pretty bad. Okay. And those were those were AI reports, or rather how to use AI in reports. So far we had text generation, we had task summaries, expenses, and filters and AI reports. And now let's talk about future features, or rather a big future feature. So let me open a different instance of Productive. Okay. So our next topic, or rather our next feature, is AI agent. Yes, we are building an AI agent in Productive. And if you don't know what an AI agent is, let me read you the actual definition. It's a system or a program that is capable of autonomously performing tasks on behalf of a user or another system, or virtual assistant that does stuff for you, as I would say it. And why would we actually build an AI agent in Productive? Well, as you know, Productive is a robust system and it does a lot of things. But we are always making sure that it's as fast and as easy to use as possible. And we believe that with an AI agent, we are kind of going into that direction. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I will open now the chat window and I will say to it, show me forecasted billable for next month. Okay, so I'm looking at, sorry, I have a typo here. Okay, that's better for next month. So notice that I've asked it to show me for next month, not any other period. So let's see if it works perfectly. Now, mind you, the name Copilot is not going to happen. So don't sue us just yet, Microsoft. We're currently working on a name. And let's see the result. You can view the forecasted billable utilization for next month in your organization by clicking here. Okay. So it has generated a report. And let's take a look if the report is correct. So yes, it's referring to next month. I see that the billable time, or rather billable scheduled time, which is what I was looking for, is compared with available time. And then I see the ratio of billable and available time. And yes, this is exactly what I wanted. But let me ask you a different question, or rather another question. Sorry, let me pull it out for you again. Okay. So I want to know now, or rather, I will ask it a question that is referring back to my initial question. But let me see if it will understand that I'm actually referring to my first question. Because if you see here, I've asked it to show me forecasted utilization for next month. And now I will ask it, will there be any absences? And if so, who will be absent? Okay, so I'm asking it a question where I'm referring to next month as well, because if I'm looking at billable utilization, I also want to see if someone will be off next month, because judging by those numbers, something is a bit off because most people are not fully utilized. And as I said, I do expect for it to know that I was referring to the previous question. So let's see. Okay. Well, it did figure out correctly that I was referring to next month, which is perfect. And looking here, Cat Williams will be sick, and then Pablo Picasso will be on vacation. So yes, that is exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that the reason why my utilization numbers were not so perfect. Okay, now I have to point out that productive AI agent that is nameless just at this point is still in active development. But if you want, you can sign up for beta access. So once it's available for testing, then we will give you access to it so you can give us your feedback. And to do that, just make sure that you talk to our support team or to your success person. And yeah, that's all about productive AI. So both past features, or rather current features, and future features. And now I would like to hear your questions. Please type them in the Q&A section, and I will answer them as best as I possibly can. Let's see if we have any questions here. Okay. Heinrich, I believe, is asking what LLM is your AI built on? It's built on ChatGPT, or rather OpenAI, but we are using different models for different features. Now, I'm not necessarily sure which model is used for which feature, but you can ask our support team and they will give you an answer. Okay. Do you know if we can ask our questions to the AI in our own language, for example, in French, or do we have to write our prompt in English? Let's see. Okay, let me ask. Well, I'm not a French speaker, so let's see how this goes. Genevieve, I believe, um, would you like to write um, documents in French, or would you like to talk with the AI agent? I presume that you would like to write prompts in French. Now, I don't speak French, so I'm not really sure. So I would kindly ask you that you check with our support team. So can you use AI to help you with automations in productive? Marie asks. Not at this point, but when I was demoing the AI agent, this is on the roadmap. So basically, you'll be able to tell productive AI agent, please build an integration, or rather an automation that connects, let's say, tasks to sales deals. And once a sales deal is moved to a different stage, then it should create a task, for example. Now, again, this is not available just yet, but it will be available in the future once the AI agent is done. Okay, Leon, I believe, will the AI agent be able to add items to research sync schedule? The idea is that AI agent will be able to create objects, and an object is a booking. So I'm not sure at this point, but one of the goals for AI agent is to create objects instead of you. Okay, when will the AI agent be up and running? Well, I like to know that as well. Unfortunately, not sure at this point, but as I said, if you want to try it out in beta, please let us know. At this point, I cannot comment on any deadlines just yet. Okay, let's see if we have another one. Well, I don't see any questions right now. Okay, sorry, Matthias, I totally overlooked your question. So is this agent only dealing with reports so far, or also other types like tasks? Can I modify a task state, for example? Yes, so it will be able to modify tasks, create subtasks, create projects, create docs. So as I said, the idea is that it can create objects, and obviously task is an object. Because I'm not sure how it will react, I cannot show you at this point, will it create a task right now, but I've tried it myself and it has created a task with 6 subtasks. So in the future, I'm pretty confident it will be possible. Marie says, can AI help with Polaris? Yes, but that's already possible. So when you are typing a prompt to Polaris, then you can use AI to help you with writing SQL, right? So myself, I do not know how to write in SQL, so I would use AI to help me get the prompt, and then this prompt would be translated to SQL, and then Polaris would generate a report. Um, but please, Marie, let me know if this is what you meant. Okay. Is there a productive training on SQLs? Unfortunately not, but we can help you with prompts. So basically, if you have Polaris enabled for you, you can connect with your customer success rep, and they can connect you to our backend team, and then we can help you with building the perfect prompt. However, we have to do it person in person because, first of all, we are looking at your data when we are helping you with the prompt. And second of all, we want to know what you want to pull out from Polaris. So I would suggest that you reach out to your success person and then ask of them to help you with prompts. All right. Anyone else? Unless the question is when will the AI agent be released or what it will be called. Wait, I think we have another one. ProPilot. It's a good one, but we are currently moving in a slightly different direction. But yeah, well, thank you all for watching. Thank you for joining. Luca will be back next month with a different topic. And of course, I will send you the recording for this webinar. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.